Today I'm going to talk about Doflamingo vs Jinbei, and I'll do my best to scale them, although I found it's complicated. So make sure to give me your opinion after watching this video in general. I made a poll a while ago and you can see that the majority picked Jinbei over Dofi, but everyone agrees that polls doesn't make sense, and I'm not talking about this particular one. In the comments I saw many different opinions, like Jinbei or Dofi can win with medium difficulty, but in my honest opinion none of them can mid-diff the other. I also found that people really overlooked some of their capabilities, which I'll disclose, so let's find out who would walk out of this fight as a victor. Starting with physical strength, and this one obviously goes to Jinbei. Jinbei's fight style is based on strength mostly, and there's no feat that can put Dofi above him. So physical strength goes to Jinbei, and I don't think it's debatable anyway. Moving to overall speed, and this one goes to Dofi in my opinion. Who's Who is the fastest and strongest Topiropo, and he used to be a former CP9. Jinbei actually showed relative combat speed to Who's Who, which is impressive feat. And I think it's worthy to mention that Who's Who used to be considered at Pride Prospect a rival to the genius rogue Lucci. Moving to Doflamingo, he got impressive feats as well. In Dressrosa, Dofi's combat speed was higher than base Luffy, and we saw that many times. So the only way to know who got better combat speed is by comparing base Luffy in Dressrosa to Jinbei. And personally I think Jinbei is relative or a little bit faster than base Luffy, but what do you guys think? The only way for Luffy to overpower Dofi was using Gear Force. Dofi was able to dodge one of Gear Force attacks and even counter. Luffy's Gear Force speed is actually crazy and definitely faster than people like Jinbei and Who's Who, because even Katakuri, who's way faster than Jinbei, Who's Who, and of course Dofi, couldn't dodge Gear Force attacks at the beginning when he lost focus. Which means he wasn't able to use Future Sight, but with Future Sight Gear Force is nothing. And because I'm not sure about who got better combat speed, let's say they are equals. Now we can all agree that movement speed goes to Dofi because he dodged cavalry, and also he can use his Devil Fruit string to increase his movement speed, unlike Jinbei. Overall speed goes to Doflamingo in my opinion, but I think Jinbei can still compete. When it comes to overall Haki, I think it goes to Doflamingo, and allow me to explain. Conqueror's Haki is kinda useless in this fight because it's the basic form and Jinbei is not a Devil Fruit user. Also he's not a fraud, so it's useless, so armament and observation is what matters in this fight. So let's start with armament Haki, and I believe it goes to Jinbei based on feats. Jinbei and Wano showed great feats against Who's Who, and again considered as Lucci's rival. Now because of this, people really overrate Jinbei's armament, although it's impressive. Who's Who was able to make Jinbei bleed twice in this fight. Just like combat speed, this one is also debatable, although I'm leaning toward Jinbei. But keep in mind that Doflamingo's armament Haki was stronger than base Luffy, and he showed that many times. So it depends on Jinbei's armament comparable to Dressrosa Luffy. I feel that Jinbei's armament is better. And I think that Jinbei should take this round, and this might not be accurate, so let me hear your thoughts in the comments, but it's actually close. Now for observation, Jinbei never showed feats like Doflamingo. One of the things that people overlooked about Dofi is that he can manipulate the whole country, and his observation is strong enough to sense their positions. It's not like Dofi is throwing his strings randomly, but he knows their positions. This is just like what Rayleigh explained and the statement in the databook Green One Piece Secrets. It says that Kinbonshoku Haki, which is observation Haki, is the power to strongly sense the presence of people, and that explains how Dofi can manipulate a lot of people easily. So overall Haki and observation specifically goes to Doflamingo. Next, who got better attack power, and I think this goes to Dofi. He was able to damage base Luffy with one of his weakest named attacks. Dofi's strongest named attack is probably Overheat, and with this attack Dofi is able to cut through buildings with ease, and I can see this attack cause damage to Jinbei, to be honest. Moving to Jinbei, and his attacks are powerful as well, like in Whole Cake he threw Big Mom out of the ship with an attack called Vagabond Trail. This attack is really powerful if it lands on other people because Big Mom is so durable. Another powerful attack that Jinbei used to defeat Who's Who, Gargoyle Tile Fist, and I think it's safe to assume that this attack is his strongest named attack. But as I said, Dofi has the advantage of his Devil Fruit, which will increase his attack power, and if Who's Who was able to damage Jinbei, I don't think that Dofi won't be able to do the same thing in my honest opinion. For stamina, Jinbei's stamina is better because using Devil Fruit abilities consumes stamina, and there's no way Dofi will fight without his Devil Fruit. Moving to defense, and this obviously goes to Doflamingo because of his Devil Fruit. He was able to block Luffy's Gear 3rd attacks with ease, and even some of Gear 4th attacks. Also he showed great endurance feats by by tolerating multiple gear force hits. Back to Jinbei, he was able to block one of Big Mom attacks temporarily. Also against Who's Who, he showed crazy defense and endurance feats. But I don't think that Jinbei can block attacks on the level of gear force, and I'm not saying that Dofy can block all of them, but he did with some of them. So overall defense goes to Doflamingo, and that's because of his Devil Fruit. When it comes to the winner of this battle, I think Dofy wins with high difficulty. The reason why people think that Dofy is weak is because they don't understand that gear force overpowered category, and you can see that in the panels here. Also, Luffy first regular Big Mom to block, and she used armament Haki, and we know that you can increase your defense using armament Haki. And before you ask about Luffy's gear force is stronger than Dressrosa, it won't be that much of improvement, because even in pre-Wano, gear force is still limited, so the only way to improve it is by Haki. And I don't think Luffy improved that much before fighting Katakuri and learning Future Sight. Now let's imagine how this fight would actually go like. Doflamingo can fight from the air, which Jinbei won't be able to reach easily. Also, he can use his Devil Fruit Awakening, which is annoying for someone like Jinbei, because he can't fly or use Conqueror's Haki to deal with Dofy's Awakening, so he will have to either block or dodge. Doflamingo can also generate 2 strong clones capable of fighting Law and Luffy, so it's all about the fight style that Jinbei can only block and barely counter. Doflamingo got a lot of kits in his arsenal that will make this fight harder for Jinbei. And I don't know why Doflamingo gets downplayed by the fans this much, because I want someone to explain to me how can third Yonko commanders like Jack beat Doflamingo? Because you have to understand that Dofy can fight from a far distance using his Devil Fruit, and how can Jack deal with Dofy's Awakening? I'll say this again, Gear Force overpowered a first Yonko commander like Katakuri and forced a Yonko to block with armament Haki to increase defense. So using this to say that Dofy is weak is actually funny, and this is my opinion about this fight. I don't think that Jinbei can beat Dofy, it's all about the fight style as I said, so what do you think guys about this fight? And what if this battle is close to the shore? That's all for today's video, let me hear your opinion about this fight. Also, if you like this kind of content, go watch this video and why Katakuri can absolutely destroy Dofy, and see you there.